What's up, everybody? How are you doing? You already know what it is. If you don't, my name is Martin Wadom, the number one OnlyFans trainer in the business, aka Software King. Me and my team pull millions of dollars from the OnlyFans platform every single year. Years and seeing the ups and downs and the bads and the goods. That's why I have the number one training in the business at onlyfanstraining.com, and that's why we continue giving the gas. But let me talk to you right now. If you're just now beginning, or if you're on OnlyFans, this is very important for you to know how to push to the six-figure mark. And I'm gonna take you the journey that hopefully gets in your head to understand where you are at in the moment and what you make the mistake of. Okay, so a lot of creators, when you first get started, you do not have a lot of money, and the question people always like, how do I start making more money? Straight labor. When you first start, everything depends on you. The reason why we don't start with original creators, the reason why we don't take beginners is for this one reason only. And this is why you have to understand how you have to level yourself up. We don't take beginning creators because a lot of them don't understand the amount of work and energy that it takes to continuously deliver on social media to create what we call influence. And here's the thing about influence that you have to understand. It's not about having so many followers. And I've worked with creators who had millions of followers, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they couldn't get someone to do something, which means click on the link, except go to their OnlyFans. That is what influence is, when you have the ability to influence someone to make a move. Otherwise, you're just popular. Popular and influential are two different things. So when you first get started on the OnlyFans platform, especially if you're in the adult industry, if you're not in the adult industry, you have to understand something. You have to understand what you're offering the people. A lot of times they make a mistake. I see a lot of OnlyFans creators who are just showing off their body. They're doing this, but you don't really create the momentum which people are willing to share. That's why I say being goofy, funny, hilarious, having a good time, and kind of being sensual is the way to go to get there. So if you're not in the adult industry and you're trying to figure out what you're doing, it's like a ladder, right? You start off here and you have to be able to sell content here. I teach this in my OnlyFans training, but I'm going to express it to you right now, right? I got a visual, but today I'm going to try to give it to you in words, and you should write this down. You should make an L on a piece of paper. Right now, you should be taking notes. If not, you should pause this and take the notes because you need to understand this. You should write an L on a piece of paper, and you should figure out what you are going to sell at the very tip of that L, which means you have time, right, on one thing, which is the length that you're going to give away, and then you have exclusivity. Those two things define what you should put down this on this ladder. On your social media, it should be the tip created in the niche. So let me say, if you're a cook, you should be giving tips about cooking, barely good tips, not like super all in depth recipes, tips. And then in the end, if you're OnlyFans, you should be selling some of the best recipes that you've ever gotten to do what? An action. The favorite food I cook for my man that always has him doing this. The best cook I cook for my woman who always has her coming back for a second date. You gotta have purpose and you gotta have meaning, right? So if you're in the adult industry, you have a little bit more, what I would say, leverage, to be honest, because there's a lot more avenues for you to find yourself in Telegram groups, buying from other major creators, being able to understand exactly what you're going to sell at the end, and you can't give that all away on social media. I am totally against showing all your goods and being half naked on any social media platform to then be selling adult content on the back end, because what you do is you pretty much give it all away and you leave nothing up to the imagination or the reason to take steps to the next platform, the next profile, right? Some creators you look at who don't do what you do, which is the hardest thing. I have to build custom strategies. And for yourself, if you get caught up watching other creators who are doing really well on this platform, but you don't do what they do, you get caught up trying to train to be a soccer player when you're trying to be a basketball player. You get caught up trying to figure out how to race NASCAR when you're trying to ride horses. That's what happens in this business start. So let me break down the basics, so some advice that you understand. When you first start, it's pure energy, it's pure effort, it's just all go. I'm talking about you have to spend the time doing it. You don't have to spend an extreme amount of time, which means 20, 30 hours a day, but you need to execute plans and you need to put it into place because growing at a huge rate is a system. Okay, and here's the breakdown of most mistakes that creators make when they start making a little bit of money. They don't invest that money like crazy back into marketing. That's the biggest problem they do. They don't take this money and reinvest it back into their marketing. Any creator that I've met and that I work with, that I work with directly who makes over $20,000 to $30,000 a month spend about 25% of their business on marketing and another 25% on operations. The reason why is so they don't have to work like crazy. And even if they have to take a day off, their money isn't going to drop like crazy. So that's what I want to tell you. If you're an OnlyFans creator and you're just getting started, the first thing you got to do is lay out which platforms and social media that you are going to destroy. I mean, not just play with, not just, I'm going to post every other day, every single day. It's called top of mind marketing. You have to be there every single day and you have to show up. You have to show your character, who you are, be funny. And you can create it in a niche. And then once you figure out what your niche is, you create all the pieces of content around there. How did I get to my first 6 figures? YouTube. I was like, I'm going to do OnlyFans. So every single piece of advice for the beginning period were only about OnlyFans. I am only now going to be branching out into other businesses that I work with because I wanted to get to my 6 figures first. I didn't want to move. I didn't want to adjust. I didn't want to switch up. I wanted to be all in this area. So every topic, every piece, every desire I had was I'm going to teach about OnlyFans and there's going to be nothing else. And this OnlyFans advice is just for the ones who understand you want to be here and you want to do this full time. Because believing that you're going to do it any more than full time and make a good enough income to make it worth it is just unrealistic. So here's the 2 things you got to know. When you first start, it's time, it's energy, it's effort. You have to build an influence. And as soon as you start making money, I would say spend 100% of the money you make on OnlyFans back into your OnlyFans until you make $10,000. It's a lot faster when you invest massively. The biggest problem is a lot of creators start wanting things and desiring things, which is typical. And most Americans and most people are bad with money. No offense, terrible with money. You can't figure it out. You spend money on random things that are going to make you no more money because you want them, not because you understand if you invest back into yourself, back into what's making you money, that eventually you'll be able to double and triple what you're making. But you start desiring things like bags, or you start desiring new computers, or you start desiring a new camera, when necessarily what you're doing is working. You just have to increase the flow of customers. The last thing that should ever disappear off your plate is your marketing budget. Because it's what survives in a business, which is new customer inquiries. That's my advice to you. Is when you first start, you don't have any money, spend all your time on the social media platforms that you know how to do. And if you feel uncomfortable, do it anyway. Because that's what it takes. It takes a little bit of uncomfortable to get there. And you should drop content. When you first start on any platform, talking about TikTok, Instagram, you should be dropping 2-3 times a day to start. Because you ain't got nothing to lose. You better drop. But most problems are starting when creators don't do much at the beginning. And they think once they make money, they're going to be better. That's not the truth. Money makes a lot of people lazy. And I'm hoping it's not going to make you lazy. So what I want to tell you to do is invest in your marketing first. Spend time, energy, effort, then invest in your marketing and never cut a marketing budget. A marketing budget should be the last thing you cut. I promise you that. So let's think about this. Deliver everything you possibly can to your platform. Figure out what social medias you are going to use. Execute them and be there every single day, because consistency is what's going to show you in business that you can survive or you cannot. You know what I mean? I hope so. If you don't, me and my team are actually, you watch this video this long, we're about to be giving away free time in our OnlyFans training for you creators. Because we want to get you in there, learn a bunch of stuff first, and then figure out how to continue down this platform of making really good money in the business. So you can go down below to marketingwithdom-onlyfans and you can get your first 7 days free across the platform. All right. Hope you have a blessed and wonderful day. Continue down the path of greatness because it's necessary. Okay. It's your boy. You already know. Comment down below. Hit it up if this helped. If it didn't, tell me what you want to learn so I can go back in and deliver what you need. All right. This is OnlyFans. If I let get it.